So this is gonna be the last part of it, and I'll now I'll include the story on it. And but like I said, I just wanted everybody to understand the pressure that I was under, coming from all directions, and you know the difficulties, the strain of what I was going through. It did put me into mental distress, but the only thing that helped was fishing, and even though there was harassment on there, people knew. There was time my boat went out on me out there, and Coast Guard, told me they were gonna. I couldn't afford to get towed, and they went out there. They surprised me, and then they come to the boat, and they actually these dudes approached my boat like if I was like I was a danger to them. Oh, do you have a weapon on the boat? Like, no. Do you have a weapon on the boat? And there was passengers on the boat. I'm a Coast Guard, inspected vessel that runs passengers. You show there's passengers on the boat. Like, these dudes approached me like I'm this freaking criminal. Like, but I had to deal with that, and everything else. And look at all these guys. All these guys that pushing me. You see the color of their skin? They didn't look like me. Every single one of these guys, Ken Frankie, the Coast Guard, everybody. I'm not racist. You know what I mean? I had everybody fishing on my boat, but everybody that pushed on me, hey, you can't deny. Yeah, and people told me the same thing. They're like, "Hey, you got to say it was racist," yeah, but my people are not. I'm not. My people are, like I got everybody, and they're like, "No, but it is what it is," And was it? Yeah, it was a target. I was targeted. I was targeted. I got hit in a targeting scheme, and people could say, "Well, well, I'm not, and I'm not this." These other, these other captains and owners, but that don't mean that they can't be involved in something like this, and that's what they did. Every single one of them. Like, let's be honest. Every single one of them does not look like me. They come from the they don't have the same color skin, and do I wanted to pull that card? No, but let's face the facts. You know what I mean? And if something like that would have happened around me, I would have spoke up, and people know that. You know what I mean? And like I said, there was that something did happen in that dock before, and they were disrespecting one of the crew members, and I came out and I told them to keep their mouth shut. And I mean, if you would have known what came out my mouth, this wasn't this was this was wrong, But that's what I dealt with, and that's the type of person I was. And like I said, everything I got Ken Frankie, like I got emails to these men. I got emails to all these. I got texts. I got whatever I got. What I say, it's the truth. It was wrong. But anyhow, like let's get to these fishing. So like I said, I always had to, I had to improvise. They were on my 12. They made sure I was not going past my 12. My people knew. I had to, when I would do my speeches, I would tell them I was implementing the new roving watch. And they were on me for my 12 hours. You know what I mean? Like, I couldn't go a minute over. I was told that I'd get in trouble. And that's how I ran the boat. And that's how I talked to my people. My people were like, they lost. They lost because of it. Because they lost because they were these other people were trying to handicap me, and I still caught more fish than these guys. You know what I mean? And in less time. Let's tell the facts. I'm sport fishing. I love to fish. I love to put my people on fish. But let's be realistic. Do you think, in my mind, do you think I want to go back to a business that was just rushing me from all directions? I mean, hey, they failed. And if it could have been, if I was back in the days, they would have, it would have been a different story. I mean, I would have crushed them. I would have crushed them in a different way. But this is business, and I'm protecting my business and my name and my character anywhere, whatever, whether it's coming from somebody that was close to a sibling or whatever. I don't get down like that. You know what I mean? I'm not saying I was perfect, but I've never stole. I'm not scandalous. I had hard times, and people don't understand. I stepped out of prison and doing all this, you know, you know, nearly 11 and a half years to change my life, and to give back to these kids. I was donating to Lisa Little League, to the Lions Club. They asked me for tickets, to Bass Pro Shops for for guppies. for and I can go on and on. I mean, I talked to kids, for my daughter's teams. I was fundraising, and I was willing to give. I just at a time I couldn't give too much. But I've been doing this from the moment I bought the boat. It wasn't something that it was just like, no, I've been doing it, and I was struggling, but I figured one day I'd reap the benefits, not because I was not because of the good karma, but because I just believe in giving back to my city and my county. And because, I sat there and fought for it before, and many times. And so I figured, I got to do what's best for me, for them. And that's what I was doing is was taking care of my people the best way I could with what I had. And I had very little, but, I stretched it out as best as I could. And if I got to get penalized for it, then so be it. It's all right, because it's my cause. But this day we went out. I think we got there. I think we left at 3. It was Chris Schmidt's group, and we had some fishermen on the boat, and we were up near Pussy Rock, and that fish started moving up above it, and I'm over there zigzagging, and I found a school of fish. I dropped on these yellows. And you can ask these guys like I'm dropping on yellows and straight bombing on them. And we hooked up 4 of them, and I think we got one. We went 1 for 4, I think, on that. And Chris got. I think that's when Chris got his fish. But I mean, I dropped straight on these fish, hooked 4 of them all at once, and we lost 3 of them. Uh, Following that, we're still looking, we're trying, we're just, but it was like the first big hit, and I think I fished before that with Charles Thompson and the guys, and we got a couple yellows. We went like that day two for probably 6 to 8, what I mean. Then we started hooking black sea bass, but I had a big floater, um, and we started getting bit in that. And a lot of boats came around, swarmed, and it was what it was. We picked the way we could, what I mean. And then and then that and then like I said, when we got bit on this one, man, I can't remember his name. He won one of the big fish with that. It was a 45-pound yellow though. He had his trout hat on, epic hat. He made one for me and my kids, and you probably seen the picture of me wearing it. I think mine was a catfish, but he hooked this 45-pound yellow, and to watch this older gentleman, pull on this fish as best as he could. It was like, it's what we do, why we do, and what we're supposed to do it for, like for the people. But when you see a kid or you see older gentlemen, like it makes you extraordinarily special. You know what I mean? Because a lot of these guys know how to fish, but don't get me wrong. I mean, it's a great feeling to put anybody on fish, but the people that believe in you the most, to get them a fish, it comes with a greater feeling, and it's a feeling I can't explain. And no, it's been taken from me. What I mean, like I've been in this industry since I've been, 6-year-old, officially working on these boats. And I learned a lot, met a lot of good people. A lot of people come and try to, they seen the lifestyle I was living, try to help me, but there was no helping me. I was just a young kid growing up where I grew up, and it was in that I looked for problems. I was a virus. I was what they call it, a victim of your environment or whatever. I'm not a victim, but I'm a product of my environment. You know what I mean? I grew up in the worst neighborhood around over here in Ventura County. You know what I mean? And we're so whether whoever you are or not, you had to deal with problems. It didn't matter if you ran with the crowd or not, because they're all your friends. So I took it to the ocean, and I used to look out for a lot of people, let them fish, take them on the boat. I tried to share my wealth. That was fishing. And it is what it is. But as I became a captain, I ran this deck, for 4.5 years before. started running boats, and and I knew how to run a deck. You can put me on any boat, and I'll take over. And not that I wanted to, but I'm very vocal because when you communicate on a vessel, that's what makes a crew a crew. People that don't communicate, um, they allow error. So if you communicate, and the best captains that I ever seen, they communicate. Or if not, they have a crew that does. You know what I mean? Like we make it happen for our people. Unfortunately, like I said, these people won. They wanted me out the business. They wanted my boat. They know they did. They know. I mean, if you guys, if there's research done on this, I'm sure there's a lot more that they're not telling me. But I fought hard. I fought for my people, and I wouldn't have came back if I didn't have the people. That was the whole point. That was the whole point. And now, I mean, these guys spreading these rumors. I'm gonna go shoot these landings up, do this. I mean, these guys are so pathetic. Like, dude, they did everything to crush my credibility, my character, my to take my people, and whether I still have it or not, like why would I go back? Why would I go back to deal with this? My kids went through enough. People say that my kids weren't. My kids, I had them part time, and they were sleeping with me on the boat. And for that mouth to even mention my kids' names, he's lucky. Like I said, he's lucky he still has his mouth because I don't play like that. I could have went over there and knocked his son out, put that fool to sleep. You know what I mean? But he should never bring my kids in it. And you know what? And I was never addressed from the landing until my declaration came out, which he made in March 3rd, 2nd or 3rd. And then after that, that's when the owner came in. One of the owners came and approached me. Are you living on the boat? I'm like, yeah, but well, you can. And so, so my sister had to send a car from Bakersfield so I could sleep in it, and I didn't want my kids sleeping in the car with me. You know what I mean? Shit was tough. I was, but I had it figured out. Once the bankruptcy was there, I had no and they were still harassing me, and that's credit harassment. So I was trying to stick that dude on it because this dude wouldn't keep his mouth shut. You know what I mean? Like they're scoundrels. You know, it's not my fault that I fish harder than most of them. I was fishing for my life, for my livelihood. And I kept my boat. People said they'd be mad at me if I lose it. So I kept my boat, and where was the support? No, I got no support. No support. People made rumors around me, and nobody backed me up. So I mean, what you assume is not what you know. You know what I mean? And what you know shouldn't be assumed. You know what I mean? It's simple. You know what I mean? But like I said, your story ain't nothing until you win. And until I win, my stories ain't shit. But once I win, you know what I mean? My story will be a great story. But until then, like you gotta win. You gotta win to become a great story. And I'm fighting to win, and I don't plan on losing. And like I said, there's a lot of people that know, and little by little, everybody's seeing the truth and knowing the truth. I didn't know that this man that wrecked my boat had won awards with his mouth, with the mouth. I didn't know, or I wouldn't hire this man. You know what I mean? I didn't know these guys were all closely associated. You know what I mean? But it's convenient. It's convenient to lie on incident reports. To blame me for everything, right? You know what I mean? I didn't, like I said, I didn't know how close these guys were. You know what I mean? And I paid the price for it. And you could do so much when you're fighting against everybody. Someone's gonna slip in. And so it's the same thing now. So what? Fuck it. You know what I mean? I'll get. I'm gonna do my best. I'm gonna fight against everybody, and somebody might slip in and get their way. But what could I do? You know what I mean? If they come for me, they come for me anyway. So I'm gonna fight for it with my hardest, with no support. And if I get support like I should, then it'd be great. You know what I mean? Because it's a hard, it's a sad feeling to be alone. It's a hard feeling to be alone. You know what I mean? And this can destroy people mentally. I still wake up from this boat being crashed. You know what I mean? And me having to take over. Nobody talks about what I did. I gave my boat up for my people. I sacrificed my boat for my people. You know what I mean? People's like, well, how do you do that? Well, I could have tried to beat you. You know what I mean? Like I could put us in a situation where it would benefit my boat, but it would have been detrimental to my people. You know what I mean? Like, let's look into the facts. Coast Guard failed to do their job. They were harassing me. The lieutenant knew. I was emailing them this whole time. Nobody ever got back at me. I didn't get no the incident report till I started getting sued. All these guys just I'm getting sued for every end. I owe people money from the boat. I can't pay off. Like the man that smashed my boat didn't tell me sorry. They didn't offer no assistance. They want what's going on with insurance. Fuck you. And you know what? You don't need to know what's going on with the insurance. No, I won my boat by myself in bankruptcy. Bankruptcy was trying to still charge me through it. Through the insurance was still trying to, after they paid this due off. They didn't even tell me they paid this due off in September. I didn't even know. They didn't tell me. So I'm over here, talking like I know, and they never addressed me. So and then they still try to put that ticket, that 90 some thousand dollars they paid this dude inside it, and he was still trying to take the boat at that. Um, and and so I fought bankruptcy and I beat it. And they're like, "Well, we don't want to deal with this." They literally put a request in for me to pay them, and my lawyer didn't want to fight for me. That's why I started fighting with them. Like, what are you talking about, dude? Like, oh, well, you have to get another lawyer too. Like, shut up, dude. Like, just contest it. He didn't want to contest it. This dude just let me hang in, and I fought it by myself. That dude put a request in to take himself from being my lawyer, and that dude wasn't doing his job. Kevin, what's his name? Oh, he was a bankruptcy lawyer. I can't even remember his last name because I've been through so much. But this dude Kevin, I don't recommend nobody go through this dude. This dude he's a crook. Didn't do his job. Let me get harassed. He knew they were harassing me. He told me that, oh well, if you give me $1,800, then we'll get him for harassment, credit harassment. Oh, I don't got $1,800. Why do you think I filed bankruptcy? Dude, like, you know what I mean? Like, let me be harassed. He could have done something. He could have decided to the bankruptcy. You know what I mean? Like I said, this dude get paid off. Insurance filed a claim. He didn't fight it, and so they wanted me to pay bankruptcy. I couldn't afford. Didn't even have a job. I lost my business. And I fought it back. I fought it by myself. I got the emails. That boat's mine, but I can't fix it. And the insurance, I don't have the insurance, so the boat sits in there. I still can't even. I mean, I can't even touch my boat because of investigation. Nobody knows my story. They don't know the true story. Nobody knows the. They didn't want us to hear the facts. These are facts. Facts. Emails. I got texts. And that's just wrong. You know what I mean? Kick him out while he's down. Well, you know what? Where I grew up, where I come from, like we get back up. We're taught to get back up, and I got back up, and I fought all these men off by myself, and I've been like that through life, my whole life. You know what I mean? People left me hanging, and I fought back, and I won, and I keep winning. I might lose one day, but I tell everybody, your story ain't a story till you win. But you ever been, dealing with a situation like that, you come to me, I'll support you because I know how it feels to be by yourself. You know what I mean? In a business by yourself, and then, nobody will know it until it happens to them. And like I said, everybody, they didn't look like me. They weren't like me. My passengers that looked like me, that didn't. I mean, the ones that looked out for me were my friend. They, being charter masters, Chris Wayberg. There's other guys, like, and I wish I could say their name, but I'm so clouded. I deal with a lot. But it is what it is.